Hello, everyone. It's Royce here, and I want to thank each and every one of you for joining the Royce in the House every Sunday live podcast. We do this live 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Sunday, and we might even put a few shorter videos during the week. We did one this week, actually, and had a lot of fun with it. So anyway, we're going to be covering the concert in Birmingham, England. It's going to be Black Sabbath's final concert. It's just a one-show concert with an amazing lineup of guest bands and individual guest artists that'll be pairing up with other people and playing together. But we'll cover all that stuff, and I've got a link up for anyone that wants to join. Come on the panel, and let's see. I'll put it up again before I get on to a narrative. Okay, so I've got the link up there twice to join the panel. All right, so let's see. Michael's here. Hey, Michael, I got a link up.
Hey, bud.
Link is up right now, but you know that already. And here comes Dan the man. Hey, Dan. See you, brother.
Hey.
Yeah, this is great. So to my immediate, the direction I'm pointing in, easy to get the rights and lefts mixed up when you're up here, right? So that's Michael Nolan, the bottom line, fastest growing YouTube show. We just came from Michael's channel. We are all part of the tribe. Michael has a tribe, and we are all part of it, and we all love being part of it. And I envy that name. I wished I'd have thought of it first, the tribe. I haven't found one that, like I told you, one time my wife and my daughter and I sat here for an hour making a list of possible names and finally just gave up. Nothing. If the tribe wasn't there, I could have picked 10 I like. But with the tribe, just nothing stacks up. No, but anyway, guys, we're having fun. But Michael's got a great show. You got to go over there and sign up to Michael Nolan, the bottom line, if you haven't already done so. You won't be disappointed.
Yes, do that, by George. I hear the guy is sometimes even intelligent.
Well, okay, yeah. All right. So below Michael and I is the one and only. Below Michael, I should say now. Below, no, he's
beside Michael.
Next to Michael.
Where did he go?
Is the one and only Just the Facts Man Dan, and Just the Facts Man Dan has been a podcaster for a long time. He's covered a myriad of things. Dan and I, about a month ago, got to interview Grand Funk Railroad's, singer, songwriter, lead guitarist, Mark Farner. And we had a great time. And look at this. We've got Ben Scheidegger came in with the super chat before the show even started. And then thank you so much, Ben. And now Michael Boswell. Oh, my God, the microphone. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. I want to.
I swear to God, Royce, that Mike's got it in for you.
I know. I need one that's hanging up here somewhere, So thank you, Michael. We really appreciate the super chat. I want to rock and roll all night, party all day. A Kiss fan. Thanks, brother. Okay, so all right. So Dan, Just the Facts Man. Just the Facts Man. His name is Dan. He's got a great show. It's a big show too. He's covered everything under the sun, music, concerts, specialty type stuff that you wouldn't even dream of. We did on my channel. He brought over an expert on a complete solar eclipse, and we did this solar eclipse show one time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, remember that? And then you had the more recent show about that Russian space junk that was coming through the atmosphere. What'd you get? Like about 48,000 views on that?
It's up to 49,000 now.
Oh my God, that's crazy, but that's great. Okay, so check out Just the Facts Man, Dan.
Major views. Be proud of that, Dan.
Yeah, no, that's huge.
That's awesome.
Below him is my good friend Dave. I Am Hop Frog is the name of his channel. Now, Dave said something about wanting to get rid of some rock and roll pedals, fuzz pedals and this kind of stuff. And I said, oh, man, I'd like some of that. And I completely forgot about it. The next thing I knew, he was asking me for my address. And then, boom, what shows up a couple of days in the mail? Here's a Jimi Hendrix pedal. Well, here, let me make myself big so you guys can see this stuff. Here's a Jimi Hendrix pedal. And he sent me all the cables and told me which one to hook up to what and what to put before that. And then I've got this other one. I think one fuzz pedal in a mod tone. Okay.
Yeah, that's a delay there, the orange one.
The orange delay. Good.
And the
Good.
purple one, I did a really cool purple paint job. Originally, it was silver like the back.
Okay.
It's like my Jimmy Fuzz pedal, so I wanted it purple.
Right on. Yeah. Well, I've got a wah wah pedal. I've also got an Ibanez fuzz pedal.
Tube screamer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the one everybody wants. And he also sent me a Jimi Hendrix. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome,
Dave.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. It was really unexpected.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember the conversation, and then this box showed up. I was like in shock. Okay, so next to Dave is my good friend Chris Elliott. Chris Elliott also has a show. He's kind of you play music for seniors or something like that, right? It's kind of a radio broadcast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over Zoom.
Oh, over Zoom. Yeah. Okay.
Wednesday afternoons.
What's the name of it again, Chris?
Jammin' for Wellness.
Jammin' for Wellness.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay. I like that. Okay. So let's see now, guys. Now we're going to jump. Let's just jump into the show. I've got a little narrative I want to go over to get us started, and then we'll kind of go around, let everybody talk, and then I'll have a little more, and then we'll go around again, and we'll just keep everybody involved. So what are we doing here? Black Sabbath's final concert is July 5th, this Saturday, folks. That's this Saturday. And here's what you need to know and what Ozzy's actually saying about the concert. Now, for those of you that are regulars at the show, you'll know that I've covered about 5 shows on this final concert. And for the longest time, Ozzy was never even going to be able to make it. So it really wasn't going to work out the way we wanted it to work out because of all his health issues. And the Parkinson's was getting worse. For a while there, he couldn't even talk. You know, he's got an XF radio talk show, and once a month he comes on. And there was a point where he couldn't hardly talk. Sharon announced a few months ago he can no longer walk. Somebody suggested he was going to be sitting in a throne, and also suggested the throne might actually fly into the stage. I don't know how that would work, hanging from a helicopter. I don't think I'd want Ozzy. I don't think I'd want Ozzy.
That was actually the last thing I heard is that they were still going to fly the guy over the stage,
Well, I hope so. That would be very entertaining.
Well, I hope he has his seatbelt on.
So what you need to know about all this, okay? This is amazing. It's not just Black Sabbath. The lineup of bands that are going to play and individuals that didn't come with the band, but that'll be, pairing up with others and pairing up with bands and playing with them. And I don't even have a complete list, but I think you'd be blown away by what I do have. Okay, so thousands of metal fans are due to descend on Via Park, which is a football stadium in the Ashton area of Birmingham, England, okay, on Saturday, July 5th. I can't believe it's already here, okay, as Black Sabbath hosts its Back to the Beginning concert, because this is where it all started, folks, right there in Birmingham. Okay, perhaps the most exciting part, Black Sabbath reunites to perform, and Ozzy Osbourne will take to the stage for the final time, first off with his solo band, but also with Black Sabbath. Now, it wasn't too long ago, Michael, remember we did a show here on Royce in the House, and we were talking about what Ozzy was saying. He had planned on doing a bunch of his own solo songs and then play some Black Sabbath songs, but his health wasn't doing real well at the time, and so he thought the way he put it was, I'll just do bits and pieces of Sabbath. So at this, I didn't know what to expect until more recent things that I've read. Okay, so
now I did see somebody in the comment section over on my show that they were expecting like 8 Sabbath tunes. Have you heard anything newer than what we've covered?
5. Okay.
5?
Dan's saying 5. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well that'll be interesting, and plus he's going to do some of his solo stuff too, which I love that as well. So the gig features dozens of huge names from the industry performing across the day. It's an all-day event. It seems to me like it's a weekend event, even 3 days, all right, once you hear the bands that are going to be there. There are dozens of musicians taken to the stage. They include Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Dan. Obviously, that'll be Zakk Wylde. Gojira, Hailstorm, Tool, Lamb of God, Anthrax, Mastodon, Billy Corgan, Dave Draymond, Duff McKagan, bassist and slash guitarist from Guns N' Roses, and more names can be found on the website.
Alice in Chains and Rival Sons are the two that interest me besides Black Sabbath and Ozzy.
Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains for sure. Totally. Yeah. So anyway, actually, Ozzy gave Sharon the credit for coming up with this idea. She came up with the idea for a final concert, so husband Ozzy had a reason to get out of bed in the morning. How significant is this event, folks? The event is hugely significant. It's Ozzy's final performance, and 20 years since the original Black Sabbath have played together. Ozzy stated, okay, here's some fresh news from Ozzy, and this comes from his show. All I can say is I'm giving 120%. If my God wants me to do this show, I'll do it. He said that on his Sirius XM Ozzy Speaks, which airs monthly on Sirius XM Ozzy's Boneyard. Okay. The Prince of Darkness talking about if God wants me to do this. Wow. Okay, all good. Black Sabbath, the final tour that was a tour before this, back to the beginning. That one started in 2016, concluded in 17. It did not include Bill Ward, the original drummer. Ozzy was there, okay, but Bill Ward wasn't, and that was due to contractual disputes. They just couldn't get the money right or something, okay? So the drummer that plays for Ozzy's solo bands is Tommy Clufetis, amazing drummer. To me, he's way underrated. He's as good as anybody out there. The drummer for Ozzy's solo band took over on the drums. Ozzy Osbourne expressed sadness, though. As much as he loves his solo drummer, still, Bill Ward was one of the original guys when they were walking around with holes in their shoes, trying to, eating out of trash cans. I mean, this was one of the original guys. He expressed sadness that Ward was not part of the show. And from everything I've read in the last couple of years, Ozzy was almost obsessed. And we talked about this, Michael, because we've done about 4 shows getting ready for this show, right? And the one you're going to be doing is, this Saturday? But
Sunday.
everything Sunday. That's right. I'm sorry.
We'll be doing a review. It's the day after, and we're going to review what we all thought about this thing.
Yeah, and it's going to be live. I heard 4 hours behind the actual concert, which
is it for a 4-hour deal?
Well, don't quote me on that. I don't want you to miss it if you're planning on seeing it. But
I've got my ticket. Got the information. All I should do, theoretically, all I should do is click and I can watch it. We're hoping that it isn't anything beyond that. I looked at all the system requirements. Right. You might want to do that if you folks are looking to get a ticket for it. Tickets are $29 and 60 something. $29 will get you the concert. 60 to 60 something will get you the ticket to the concert and a Black Sabbath tour T-shirt as well. So that's what you can purchase online right now. Gotcha. My whole push on this, Royce, is, and I made my plea tonight on my stream too. This is Black Sabbath. Think of these bands, the Beatles. There's no John, there's no George, right? You've got Led Zeppelin. There's no John Bonham. Right. Yes, you have no Alan White. You have no Chris Squire. Queen, you have no Freddie Mercury. Black Sabbath is well in their realm as far as being a major band, and you still have all 4 original members, and they're going to perform. Yes. You almost have to attend that in one way or another. Yeah. Right. And Royce and I have we been covering this for over a year now?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for over a year, and
both on your channel and on mine.
Right.
And here's the deal: our first thing was, sign me up. I want to go. Because we didn't know. Well, we thought it was a tour. It could be a North American tour. We might get to see them, right?
Now,
and then the news came out slowly. Yeah. Well, it's not this. Right. Well, it's not that. But it is what it is. And guess what, folks? This will be your last chance to be part of it in a semi-live sort of way, whatever the signal loss or loss of time will be. Is going to be negligible. You will be as close to watching the final performance of one of the giants of classic rock, Black Sabbath. And I could name another 10 bands who don't have that kind of pedigree today that are just as big as them. They're one of the few. The Police could do this still. Right? Hey, Grand Funk Railroad could do this still, but Black Sabbath, as far as historical significance, is even over the Police.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Right.
I mean, they really close to inventing a whole new genre,
and anyway, almost a generation older too. By the way,
right. But look at Ben Scheidegger's comment here. The stream is 2 hours ahead of the actual start time of the show, to ensure everyone can stream it across the world. It'll start 7 a.m. Western time, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. So 7 a.m.
Wow. Early day for little old Michael.
Hey, Michael, where do you buy the streaming of it? Who'd you get that from?
I just went to let me see if I can remember.
It's backtothebeginning.com.
What's that?
Backtothebeginning.com.
That's right. That's exactly it, Dan. Thank you. Yeah.
Because all we do on TV now is stream. We don't. Well, I guess we do have a couple of premium type services, but what would you do? Do a search? Because I turned my TV on. I'm on YouTube.
I just went a Black Sabbath online ticket search, and it took me. That was one of my. Backtothebeginning.com was one of my. And it was the number one. It'll probably pop right to the top. Click that, and then you can purchase one of 2 different types of tickets to view this. And guys, if you're thinking, they're dead and gone, you might want to rethink this. How many bands can you name that go back this far in time that can actually pull this off with all 4 members? This is exciting stuff.
I saw him in concert at 71 at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Then in 73, 70. I'm almost done. Then 73 at 73 at the California Jam. Anyway,
I'm
folks,
jealous. I'm jealous.
Okay, so let's. Sorry, we'll get back. Sorry about that. Okay, so everything I've read over the last couple of years, and Michael and I have talked about this, and Dan too. Ozzy's been obsessed with doing a final concert with the original lineup. He was unhappy that Bill Ward, wasn't involved last time when he was there. They might not be doing this if Bill Ward was involved, But I think this is going to be pretty damn interesting because we still don't know. Ozzy says I'm going to give it 120%, but we don't know how that's going to work out. We don't know what pain he might suddenly be grab him. He could just not be able to go on. He might, I mean. He'll get up there. He might have a tendency to want to, move like he used to move or something and just twist and hurt himself, I mean,
that would, you know what? And if that did happen, and boy, from what we've been covering, that could happen. Think about it. If you buy a ticket, you're going to get your money back, and you can claim I was there when Ozzy didn't show up.
I know.
That'll be a major event to be a part of. Either way, right?
No, I totally agree. Okay, so Ozzy, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, the bassist, and Bill Ward all grew up within a few streets of each other. And there's some interesting stories there, and I'm going to be telling some coming up with the original lineup. Okay, just a stone's throw from the Ashton Stadium. Okay, within a couple of streets of each other, stone's throw from the Ashton Stadium, which is actually a football field. Their football, our soccer. And Geezer Butler, a lot of them were huge fans of that team because it was right in their neighborhood. The band's relevance to the city's cultural heritage was recognized when they were awarded. I mean, check this, guys. This is what an honor for these guys. Okay, the Freedom of Birmingham Award, a prestigious honor recognized their significant contribution to the city and the field of music. Specifically, the award acknowledges the band's pioneering role in heavy metal and their status as ambassadors for the city. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I don't know if I'd heard of Birmingham before these guys. Aside from the deep connection the band has to the area, the lineup for all-day event is stuffed with icons of metal. Osbourne will play his own short set, the solo stuff, before joining the band and other guests, including Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Gojira, and Hailstorm. It's all for a good cause. And I'm not sure I can believe this with Sharon involved, but all proceeds are being split equally between Cure Parkinson's, because Ozzy does have Parkinson's, Birmingham Children's Hospital, and Acorn Children's Hospice. Well, it's hard to even say Children's Hospice. Cure Parkinson's is a cause close to home for Osbourne, as he has largely been forced to stop touring, due to the disease and his spinal injuries. And we'll talk about that for a minute. The concert is sold out. However, Black Sabbath announced that the event will be live streamed and said it would be available to watch on demand for 48 hours after the show. Fans need to pay to view it, and only those who have paid can watch it on demand afterwards. The rocker said he's taking things one day at a time. This is where I get a little nervous amid health setbacks that included 2 serious spinal injuries. The first one, an ATV accident, and that was in the same time span when his Parkinson's was diagnosed as well, along with that first ATV accident. And then the ATV accident, first spinal injuries. He had pins and rods and stuff put in his spine and neck. And then the second accident that broke all of that loose, he was at home and the lights were out. He went to the bathroom and he's coming back in the dark and thought he was dropping onto the bed and dropped face first on the floor. And Sharon goes, "Ozzy, is that you?" And he goes, "Call an ambulance." Because he knew everything had gotten rebusted up. So he's had, I think after that one, he had 3 operations. And so it's been a rough go for him. He's had some health issues. They say he can't walk now. We'll see what happens. I don't know what to expect. I've heard so many different things. Things have gone up and down, back and forth. So Ozzy says he's ready to rock and roll one last time, and he's doing his best not to let nerves get to him. Okay. So let's take it back to the panel now and talk about what we've just gone through. Let's see, Michael, you want to add something here?
Well, no, I've been peppering my thoughts in on it. I think it's the ideal concerts. It's a no-lose scenario. If he shows up, it's your last chance to see him live, or as live as and up front as you're ever going to get the chance to see mega monsters of Class C rock perform.
Yeah.
There is no doubt by anybody in the universe that this is truly the Black Sabbath. Oh my goodness, look at that. Storm Cop comes in with a $20 super thing.
Oh my goodness, Storm Cop.
Thank you, James.
James, thank you so much. I really appreciate this, brother. Yeah, I'm glad you.
But that's what I got to say about it, Royce. Yeah. The rest of the panel hasn't had a chance to interrupt you quite as eloquently as I managed to do.
No matter what.
They're gentlemen.
No, I know. Yeah. Well, okay. I got to do one little thing before I go any further. I got to do a quick, shout out to the guys that did some super chats and stuff last week. And you do the same thing on your channel. Ben Scheidegger, bought a membership. Rock and Robin Bird RB did a super chat. Paul 401, donated a membership, and Michael Boswell did a super chat. So that was last week. And then, of course, before the show even started, and we were all just waiting in the chat for showtime, Ben Scheidegger, already donated a couple of dollars. I love the $2 donations especially, and Michael Boswell as well. And now here's Storm Cop with 20. Thank you guys, man. This is more than I could have hoped for, to be honest with
Rock
you.
and Robin Bird in with 2. The power of 2. Thank you, Rock and Robin Bird.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Now,
I love this. Oh, she's giving us what is it? What does it say here?
it
I
says
love this little icon.
super sticker.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Right. Okay.
I've been chasing chickens all day, Rock and Robin Bird. I'll tell you, we got a couple of roosters that think this is their side of the fence.
You know, Michael, you have roosters?
My non-considerate neighbors have roosters. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Crowing right in the middle of my stream. You know, I mean, they're unofficial guest stars on my stream occasionally.
Right.
I live just outside the city limits, but not quite country. You know, something in between.
I'm kind of like that. I'm in the West Hills of Cascadero on acreage, and we're 11 miles from the ocean at Morro Bay and Cayucas. Yeah. And it's pretty cool here. We had a big fire though, not too big yesterday. We've had some real big fires where the city came out and filmed me on my roof with a water hose years ago. But anyway, Rock and Robin Bird, I want to thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
You are a rock star girl. Thank you. Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's see. Let's move over.
Before we get going, I do want this, Dan, your background rocks, brother. I love this. Yeah. He always puts a little extra into the presentation, doesn't he, Royce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, no, this is a green screen, right, Dan?
Yeah, I'm using a green screen tonight.
Yeah, your volume is real low on your voice. Yeah.
How about now?
That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, so Dan, let's go ahead and get you involved here, brother.
Yeah, on this concert live stream they're going to be doing, I got several questions about it. First of all, they say Ozzy's going to do 5 songs. I don't know if they're his solo songs or they solo and Black Sabbath songs. And if he's going to do his solo stuff, is it going to be Black Sabbath?
Dan, that's a question I have not seen answered. And let me make you bigger while you're talking. Does anybody have any idea when he does his solo stuff, if he's going to have his solo band?
Well, so you got to remember too. Now Zach Wild's going to be there, so Zach could actually play for Ozzy's solo stuff.
No, and I thought about that too.
So I don't know. I guess we'll just wait and see. Another question I got about that live stream too. You got to go to backtothebeginning.com, to sign up for it, to pay for it. And I just hope that when it starts, I can actually stream it to my TV set because I have a dumb TV set, which I have to. It's called Chromecast. I hope I can. I don't want to watch it on my phone all day. I'd like to get it up on the TV. But
right, yeah. No, I'm not sure about any of that really, but
now I saw Black Sabbath when Technical Ecstasy came out in 1976, and this looks a little weird because of the green screen, but this is the original program tour for the tour.
Oh, okay, nice.
You got the real there, Ozzy and Tony.
Yeah, Ozzy and Tony. There you go.
Somebody has a new channel member.
Yes, I do. Erga Splitting Loudenboomer. Thank you so much, brother.
AKA Gear Jam. Welcome aboard, Gear Jam.
Yeah.
You got a whole lot of stories.
Yeah, Erga Splitting Loudenboomer. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And welcome to the channel. Yeah, Geezer. I don't know. You sure that's not Bill Ward?
There's Bill.
No, that's Bill Ward. Okay. Looks like he has a map of California on his face.
Yeah, they looked a lot different in '76.
I know. Yeah.
And of course, like I said, this came out. I saw it when Technical Ecstasy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I have that album.
And you got the
Yeah. Yeah, great pictures. That was just a program that was sitting on your seat when you went into the concert.
No, I was sitting on my seat. I paid like $10 for it.
Okay. All right, that makes more sense, I guess. Okay,
But,
well,
yeah, I'm excited to see this show coming up. You know, I mean, I've been a Black Sabbath fan since I was early high school, probably about 15 years old. So
right, the moment I heard him, I was a fan.
Yeah, and I think the first song I really heard was, well, I guess it's Master Reality is probably my favorite album, and my favorite tune is Sweet Leaf. I love Sweet Leaf.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, that's awesome, Dan. Storm Cop 55. Yeah, everybody go check Dan out at Just the Facts Man on YouTube.
Oh, I shout Dan out every time on my channel. He's the other brother channel that, and he's one of my featured channels. So I wholeheartedly endorse Dan. He's very tribal, you know, Royce.
Very, very tribal. Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
he is.
All right. Thanks, Dan. And that green screen just seems to be perfect. You know, your voice got lower again, Dan.
It's cutting in and out a bit.
Yeah, cutting in and out a bit. Right.
It goes from low and then pops to full volume and then pops to low a bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Time for a new microphone.
Yeah, it's low.
Probably
right now,
so.
Hey, Dan, Rockin' Robin Bird just subbed to you.
Oh, thank you, Rockin' Robin.
Awesome. Thank you, Rockin' Robin. She's a darling. She's a darling.
Okay, so we're going to go down now to Dave. I am Hop Frog. You've got to be a big Sabbath fan.
Oh yeah.
or Ozzy solo, one or the other, or both.
Both, very much so. Yeah, I started learning when I first started playing guitar about 14 and a half. First songs my friend taught me how to play were Sweet Leaf, Paranoid, Iron Man.
Nice.
Other ones, yeah. So it's
I learned, you know what, Dave? I learned to smoke it. Does that count?
We all did that.
Sweet Leaf. I assume you're talking about the Sweet Leaf.
yeah, but I'm excited. I'm excited. For one, I was kind of worried that Ozzy might not be around for the concert.
I know.
I'm very glad I was wrong. I was kind of upset that he wasn't going to be around, but I'm glad. I'm excited to see that he's going to be there no matter what he does. You know, all of us owe a lot to this man. So many bands.
Right.
I myself.
Yep.
You know, just as far as my musical taste, my limited guitar ability, I owe so much to Black Sabbath and Ozzy. So I'm excited. I still need to get my ticket for the thing, but I'm going to watch it. And I really hope they release a DVD.
They will. They will.
I'm sure they will. But I'm looking forward to that. So, anyways,
they'll release all kinds of stuff. We might even get more of these.
There you go.
Hey, what do you guys think? Now, I just want to make a comment, Dave. Get your opinion and everybody else's, but I like Black Sabbath with Ozzy better than I like Black Sabbath with anybody that came later.
Oh yeah.
To me, he's the absolute. I mean, there were some great singers. Don't get me wrong. Ronnie James Dio gets a lot of credit for being a great one, technical singer. But Ozzy to me will always be the voice of Black Sabbath.
Yeah, the voice and the soul of Black Sabbath, definitely.
Yeah, the voice and the soul. Thank you. I love that. So
anyway, I just shared on my channel that I had just got a couple of new Black Sabbath albums. As you know, I had their first one, Paranoid, Master of Reality, and Volume 4. I just picked up Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and Sabotage. I need to get Never Say Die and Technical Ecstasy. So I'm jonesing at the bit, Dave.
Oh man, yeah, you're getting there. Hey, the other thing I wanted to say, and I'll see and I know Michael, I think, agrees with me now on this one. But I prefer Ozzy solo career to Black Sabbath with anybody but Ozzy.
Yeah.
Say that again. You kind of cut out on me, boys.
Okay. I prefer Ozzy's solo albums to any of the Black Sabbath albums that don't have Ozzy on them.
Oh, me too. Me too. And I didn't collect Ozzy, as you know. but I am now. And you can thank that just for his latest release, Patient Number 9, his 13th solo album.
So good.
He just had so many guest stars on it. I had a channel, so I actually listened to it. I may not have been if I didn't have a rock and roll channel.
Right.
And I listened to it and I fell in love with it. Then I started reassessing, and after bantering back and forth with you, Royce, for the last 3 years,
right.
I like him, I don't. I like him, I don't. This has been me and Royce back and forth for years. I have finally, I firmly want to get most of his solo albums. I am now a firm Ozzy Osbourne solo artist, I guess.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But, and I blame Royce for it.
That's okay. That's okay.
He's the bastard that turned me into an Ozzy fan.
and you never wrote me to thank me for it. Oh yeah. Oh yes, he was the bastard that turned me into an Ozzy fan, and I never wrote him to thank him for it.
But I bought you flowers,
WC Fields. Okay, so Storm Cop just brought up something interesting. I don't know how many likes I have, where that's even at right now, but if everyone would just smash that like button, that first 50 gets me pushed harder by the algorithm.
And Royce is only 10 away from achieving that right now.
Oh yeah, so 40, everybody, please smash that like button.
Quite achievable.
I had 10 or 11 before the show even started, believe it or not.
Yeah. And I counted 14 before I got on. So.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
If there's anybody out there, anybody listening now, or as you know, we get a lot more views on the show after it's over with. We might get 50 or 60 during the show on a good night, but by the end of the week we've got 400. So a lot of people are gonna watch this show later. So I just want to say to them that if you're not a subscriber, we are a classic rock channel primarily. We do have other playlists too, some other stuff that you might enjoy. But we have a lot of videos. We cover all the classic rock stuff. Whether it's Zeppelin, Sabbath, Beatles. I mean, recently we've covered Stevie Winwood. We've covered Grand Funk Railroad. We've covered America, and on and on and on. And so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, on screen subscribe button, and the notification bell, and you'll get a one-time notification for any new shows that are coming on. So I would really appreciate that. We're just trying to build. Things were a little slow, a little sluggish lately, but they're picking up again now. And so Storm Cop, suggested the thumbs up thing. I thought I would pick up on that and say something. Rockin' Robin Bird is subbed to everybody on the panel, it looks like. Begin with music store posting.
Hey, I just switched microphones. Can you hear me okay now?
Oh yeah.
Now that's perfect, Dan.
Much better, brother.
Okay, now we're going to move on to main man, co-host Chris Elliott.
Well, just one thing. You guys were talking about Sweetleaf being. That's when I saw them on the end tour. That's the big omission song they didn't play was Sweetleaf.
Really?
Okay.
They were trying to keep let the pyrotechnics and smoke come from the stage instead. I don't know.
Okay.
That would be one of the 5 songs I'd like to hear if they were only going to do 5. That would be one of my 5 right there.
I've been imitating that Sweetleaf song for years. Only the intro.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, I'm glad. Thanks, whoever pointed out the live stream. I'll definitely get a ticket for that.
Okay,
Appreciate
cool.
That.
Yeah, no, I'd like to. I hope I.
Yeah, it's going to be a historic, brother.
Yeah,
one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, it's not the original Sabbath, but Ozzy was on one more Sabbath album, and that would be the last one they did, number 13.
Okay.
But that was with the other drummer.
With the other drummer, right?
Tommy Clefettis. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Brad Wilk or whatever.
And to be truthful with you, Chris, I haven't really listened to that album. I'll have to reassess it. With 3/4 of the membership there, I might be interested in it. I don't know.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
It's almost like a mix of their old sound coupled with
wow.
The gloss or whatever of the Ronnie James Dio, like the Mob Rules kind of sound. It's like a mix of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, see, and that's the problem I have with bands that get new members and then they go glossy a little bit. I mentioned Foreigner's I Can't Wait 2009 album. Sounds like Foreigner, only candy-ass gloss and almost like we built this city kind of feel to it. And it was just a little, but I'll reassess it, Chris. And if it's good, I'll buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's
Now, is it true Sabbath? To me, no, but it could be. It's kind of like if it's a good album, then it's going to kind of like be Celebration Day for me. You know, I could go that direction with it.
Right. Well, I tell you, Ben Scheidegger brought up a good point. He's talking about the Heaven and Hell album. And he says it's a masterpiece, and in my honest opinion, Dio gave it a brand new beginning into a different form that contributed greatly to the rock metal genre. I also think there should be a tribute for Dio. Well, that's probably a fair statement right there.
Yeah. And Ben, as you know, on my channel, this is an ongoing thing. Probably, I'd say 60 to 65% of my viewers from my polls are heavily into the Ozzy Black Sabbath period. But then I've got a good 35 to 40% of my viewers who have very strong and great feelings regarding other iterations of Black Sabbath, you know. So what is Black Sabbath? For me, it's with Ozzy. For others, it's if Tony is at the helm, it's got to be Sabbath, baby. You know, and there is that aspect that Tony Iommi is the Jimmy Page of the band. You know, I mean, a lot of it is his direction, his feel, his riffs.
I think he writes a lot of the songs and things like that.
And you know what, Royce? It's interesting. You get to that site that Dan was talking about to purchase your ticket, and you're right. It says Ozzy. Back to the beginning, you know. But then when you get to the page to purchase your ticket, if you notice, appropriately, so I might add, that the billing is Black Sabbath first, then Ozzy, as it should be.
Right. As it should be. Absolutely.
Ozzy should never be seen as above Black Sabbath. Now, you know, is he the visual and audible star and running all the star attitude of Sabbath? Yes. And his solo career, I've even been turned on to it, but he should never outbill Black Sabbath, baby.
Hey, Michael.
Never. Yeah.
Actually, one proof of that, it wasn't with Ozzy, but it was the same thing. That was the reason that Ronnie James Dio originally left the band, because Ozzy invited them on tour. I think it was Over the Mountain tour, the second one with Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
He invited Black Sabbath to play, you know, as a warm-up band for him. And Ronnie James Dio looked at the rest of the members and said, "Are you guys fucking kidding me? We're not playing for this clown. He can open up for us." And he ended up leaving the band over it. He quit in the middle of the tour because he refused to play ahead of Ozzy.
Yeah.
No kidding.
And
he was saying, like, this is our band. You know, I might not be original member of this band, but we're not going to.
But see, in that case, I kind of agree that they should open up for Ozzy because at that time, Ozzy had much bigger record sales, a lot more top 40 hit sales. He had his own hit TV show, or it was on the heels of that and everything. And Black Sabbath had Ronnie James Dio. Now, if you're a Dio fan, fine, but he is no freaking Ozzy. Black Sabbath wasn't, again, in Royce's, in my opinion, by what we've said already tonight, already not true Sabbath. They're proto-Sabbath, or sort of Sabbath, you know. And so in that case, I would probably agree that maybe Ozzy should outbill him. But with his band and him with Black Sabbath, him and his band can just wait. because Black Sabbath,
Michael, I have mixed feelings about all that stuff. It's like you were talking about Foreigner on your show, and I think the only original member that they have left was sick, and he wasn't even on tour with them, right? I mean,
Foreigner? Foreigner has right now. They don't have any original members left that's doing full time right now for this year and until the end of the summer. But watch it. I have a whole video where I have predicted and I lay claim to. They announced that, hey, we are not retiring. I've been calling that shit for the last year. So the one problem with that video is I must have said it about 4 times. It's like, I wish I had edited out a couple of them where I go, and I claim to, because I could see it coming months and months ago. And that's, how they were going to get back together and everything. And there's always these shenanigans with these bands.
What got me going is that there's always this internal struggle. Can that band still be called, Foreigner?
Right.
Can it still be called, I mean, look at Michael Farner. Like Dan and I interviewed him.
Mark Farner.
I'm sorry, Mark Farner.
Right. I'm not trying to correct you, but I want the viewers to know what we're talking about. That's all.
We're talking about the singer, songwriter, lead guitarist, and really the leader of Grand Funk Railroad. But when he's got his solo band now, he doesn't call himself Grand Funk Railroad. He calls himself Mark Farner, the American Band, right, Dan?
Right.
Yeah, Mark Farner's American Band.
Mark Farner's American Band.
And legally, he's forbidden to use Grand Funk.
Yeah, that's the case with a lot of people.
Unless it's formed just right with the right capital letters, and there's a lot of legal trouble.
The point I was trying to make is like, Santana's always just been Santana. It didn't matter who was in the band, right? It was named after him, and it was always Santana. And I mean, he had some great people at Woodstock in '69, but how long did any of them carry on with him? And
after the first few albums, Santana became Santana and some other guys.
Yeah. I know. The Rolling Stones have changed the lineup. They only have less than half of their original members right now. But hey, it's Mick and Keith. Who'd want them to say Rolling Stones redo or Mick and Keith? Or I mean, you want them to be the Rolling Stones, right?
Well, and I probably would. If truth be known, I would say that's really not the Stones that, especially with the death of Watts. That's just not the Stones, but that's beating a dead horse. There's no freaking way I'd ever say that on air, Royce.
I know.
I know. Wait a minute. Oh no, I did. No, but they're just too. That's a. I'm willing to see dragons and windmills to a certain degree, but if you think I'm going to take on the fucking Rolling Stones and call them shysters, no fucking way, man. I'm just not going to do it.
I wasn't asking you to do that. my point is, we all make a decision on whether or not they're deserving of the original band name.
Exactly. I just think they're just so damn big, and Jaggers and Richards are just so iconic. As long as the two of them are there, they're going to make that happen, and I'm not going to argue. I mean, clinically, they're about as not the Stones as some of the other bands I've complained about, but they're also, they got a new album coming out, and a new, I haven't heard it yet.
Yes, they
do. They got a new cut that's been leaked. And of course, Royce and I have been covering that. We knew they had at least 50% of an album when they released Hackney Diamonds, we both loved that album. I've got a copy of it on vinyl right here at home. I still listen to it. I think it's
love
wonderful.
That album. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm excited. They're at least producing new material.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that keeps them in the game for me.
That's huge. We've been joined by co-host Michael Dawson. How you doing?
Hey, Dawson.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
I don't speak Martian. What did he say?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Hey, Dawson Walters. You want to talk about Black Sabbath here a little bit, because we've kind of all been around twice so far, and you just showed up.
If I'm not like a robot.
Oh, no, you are like a robot. That really won't work like that.
Right.
I'm glad to see that you got the sense to gargle, though, Dawson. That's good to see in a young man. You know.
Boy, could that be
still a robot?
And a happy Gunhei Fat Troy to you too, buddy.
Okay, so I'm going to move on here a little bit. Go back to some of the little narrative. Okay, so I mean, let's talk about. We've talked about Ozzy's health issues, taking it one day at a time. He's going to give 120%. I don't know if 120% is going to wind up being 20% of a healthy person, but he's going to give it 120 for what he can do. So, guys, who invented heavy metal? Critics disagree.
Was a guy named Bob.
Who could be thought of as the first heavy metal band? Most credit the British bands Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. Okay,
along with Deep Purple.
Deep Purple gets mentioned. Yes, along with these two, they do. Yes, with
myself, I throw in some of Cream and some of Hendrix into that list myself.
I could do that easily.
I just did a stream on all this and a poll, and I included Cream and Hendrix and a couple of other bands that could kind of go for that fourth position of the holy trinity of heavy music or heavy rock.
No, that's exactly right, Michael. That was a great show. Great show Michael had. So, so with the American commentators, they tended to favor Led Zeppelin, where the British commentators tended to favor Black Sabbath as the inventors of heavy metal, though many gave equal credit to both. Okay, while Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath are widely credited with being pioneers and key figures in the development of heavy metal, they are not solely credited with inventing it. Okay, their unique sound characterized by heavy metal guitar riffs, dark themes, and down-tuned guitars did play a significant role. Well, what's interesting is, and I'm sure everybody knows this story, Tony Iommi was working in a machine shop, and he chopped off the tops of, what was it, 3 fingers or 2 fingers?
Two.
And he made these little caps that he would glue over his fingers. I mean, people were saying his career was over with. I mean, these were the fretting fingers, How are you going to continue as a lead guitarist? But that contributed to the development of heavy metal because of the power chords and stuff he would play after that happened.
And the feel that he developed around such an impediment.
Oh, yeah.
Because that gives you a different feel. I'm a lead guitar player, such as I am. But those fingers, tremolo, how you can do pulls and pull offs and hammers and all of that, and it requires Dave knows what I'm talking about right here. It requires a specific feel, and your whole hand will jiggle to get that note to dance, even if you're on the root note. That type of feel. And so when he had those plastic fingertips, that fucked with his feel, but he developed his own feel, and that's why he can't quite be duplicated, in my opinion.
No, that's a really great point, Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, we've been joined by Dwayne Chamberlain. Came in and said hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Dwayne.
We appreciate it.
Always good to see you, my man.
Always good to see you. Okay, Hop Frog's making friends quickly here.
Yes.
Rockin' Robin says, I agree with Hop Frog. And he said...
That was back when I was saying
wrote
the
lyrics and okay. All right, so Dwayne Chamberlain says the Beatles invented heavy metal. Any comments? Anybody?
There's an argument for it.
Anyone want to take? Anyone want to take that on? The Beatles invented heavy metal.
Like you get songs like She's So Heavy or Helter Skelter, or even like Ticket to Ride, and some of those are
Oh, you want proto, like bare bones, how heavy metal was performed in a cave? How about why don't we do it in the road?
Why don't we do it? That was a song I was trying to come up with.
Yeah. There's an argument.
Well,
I
could be another one.
Yep.
I could actually see Cream even being in front of the Beatles as far as metal.
Well, yeah. Politician, Sunshine of Your Love.
Sunshine of Your Love. That was some heavy distorted power chords and stuff right there.
And another Beatle claim, John Lennon said he claimed the first use of feedback on any record, which is essential to heavy metal, on I Feel Fine, where all of a sudden you hear right?
Yeah.
He said nobody, not Hendrix, nobody ever recorded and released a record to his knowledge before the Beatles. And that is an essential identifier to what most people identify as heavy metal, which I don't, I know heavy metal exists, but a lot of the bands, especially these early bands that they claim are heavy metal, I don't see as heavy metal. I see as heavy rock. But that's my opinion.
Right.
What you got there, Dawson?
Dawson is
Black Sabbath.
Am I not Yellow Submarine? Test 1, 2.
Dawson.
Nope. Oh man.
No, your voice is toast, man.
Okay.
So, sorry to say that. Yeah, you could have a show without the tell, I guess.
But you know what? I think he could come off with a real good rendition of La Leña by Donovan. La Leña.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sorry, Dawson.
A lot of
you're just such an easy target tonight, brother.
A lot of vibrato there. Vibrato, I mean. Wait, okay, look. Jersey Devil says Black Sabbath invented metal, period. And a lot of people feel exactly like that. I mean, you can't compare.
What was the statement again, Royce? I was looking at.
Okay, Black Sabbath invented metal, period.
And many people say that.
Influence, but Sabbath was the first. Yeah, I think that's the majority opinion, Jersey Devil.
Yeah,
I agree. There's also, like everybody says, the Whole Lot of Love riff created metal, and that you go even a little bit further back. If you want a first example of perhaps speed metal, look at Communication Breakdown, something like that.
Right.
There's more than just a Whole Lot of Love that Zeppelin potentially created metal with, if you go a little bit deeper.
So, there's got to be about 60% of their discography that
no, I'm talking about like
fall under
69, right when it was all virgin.
Right.
Yeah, just beginning. Yeah.
Well, when did Black Sabbath form? Was that 67?
1968.
I can tell you.
Zeppelin 1968, Deep Purple 1968.
Yeah,
because if we're talking about the first, I think Zeppelin was before Black Sabbath by a year, I think.
Well, they released an album before Black Sabbath by a year. By that time, and Deep Purple had a couple of albums, but they were still formulating on what they were going to be and be recognized for. But you got to kind of track all three bands if you're going to say this is either the beginning of heavy rock or heavy metal, as Jersey Devil just said. And Jersey Devil, I'm quite well aware that I'm in the minority on this, and that when I think of your statement and coming from your side, I have very little disagreement with you. If you're going to say, especially if you are a heavy metal specific fan, I could see that as being, yes, this is our DNA. So I don't have too much problems with it. I just don't see them as a heavy metal band, because I experienced them right alongside with Zeppelin and Deep Purple, and it was all happening in the moment for me. And we've discussed on this channel before, for most of us oldsters up here on the panel, we didn't call it heavy metal. We called it heavy rock. Or acid rock, Michael, or psychedelic rock. Right?
Yeah. I'm looking at Ben Scheidegger's comment here, and I reflect on that, and I say to myself, because of Tony Iommi's fingers and things like that, and the way he had to go to more power chords with heavy distortion and stuff. I have to agree that Sabbath was more consistently heavy metal on their songs.
Well, they were because of their darker themes that are heavily misunderstood. But that's the one.
That was part of it, yes.
Yeah. Zeppelin could get dark, but then they would be light and love songs and, going to California, because of that big-legged woman. But then with Deep Purple, you would get, good Lord, songs about dragons, hotels burning down. There was there was no theme for Deep Purple. It was a musical theme based on 17th and 18th century classical passages that were supplied by Ritchie Blackmore and John Lord. So they developed along with this. But Black Sabbath had the darker themes that the other two and consistently carried it. And usually when they went lighter, it was often with instrumentals. And even when they went with a vocal lighter approach, there was a forlorning. As a matter of fact, I was just wondering because I would have to say that probably but I haven't listened to it yet. I just got Black Sabbath's, oh God Lord, the one before Sabotage was Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. And when that came out, I remember it being my favorite Sabbath album, but I haven't listened to it in quite a few years, really. So, but I've been listening to all, I had the first 4 albums, and I was saying, I remember clearly when Master of Reality came out, I was impressed. I go, okay, the production is so much better on this album. And then they did it again almost identically. And some say surpassed it with Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. But these are twin albums, Master and Volume 4, that it is almost impossible to say which is my favorite. And I finally, because they both have perfect light and heavy moments and many light moments between them. And the one song that broke the tie for me, I'm going to vote for, out of these two anyway, Master of Reality as their best album up until Volume 4 at least. And you know what the song was, Dan? Sweet Leaf.
Oh yeah, there we go.
you gotta have Sweet Leaf, because it's such an iconic song, right?
That's one thing about Black Sabbath too.
By the title track.
One thing about Black Sabbath too. If you look back on all their albums, I think almost every one of their albums are like this. At least with Ozzy, there's always one mellow song on every album.
Right.
One.
Right. Going through changes, and I'm going through changes.
Right. Okay. So let's see. Going through changes. Okay. How about another song pops into my head. Eric Clapton's song "Cocaine." Now, don't tell me that's not heavy metal.
Yeah, but that didn't come out till later in the 70s.
Dun, 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 dun. She don't lie. She don't lie. Anyway,
to me, that's heavy rock.
I agree.
I was just reassessing in my mind. I was listening to it in my head as you were talking there, Royce, and I go,
you could have listened to me sing it.
It's got the grit of heavy metal, but it's heavy rock, and the chords chosen, proto heavy metal at best, because they're well-known chords. Dun, 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 dun. Those kind of chords,
Right.
Back in the day, before the term heavy metal was deemed as a genre, back in the day, Led Zeppelin to me was hard rock. Black Sabbath was heavy metal. I mean acid rock. But then later on, they came up with the term heavy metal. Now we got to look backwards and redefine what these bands were when they were different to begin with. Hard rock, acid rock. Now it's almost like we're recategorizing it, but they're different altogether.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I just did on my screen covered. They wrote differently, with Black Sabbath. You got a lot of band writing. You got a whole lot of Page and Plant there at the end. Plant and John Paul Jones, with John Paul Jones intermixed and everything like that. But primarily the team up, you remember, is Plant and Page. And then with Black Sabbath, you had Ozzy coming in with the riff, Bill Ward kind of fiddling with the orchestrational layout, skeletal layout of the song, Ozzy humming into a microphone, saying inane words, choosing a melody for it, and Geezer writing in the corner all the lyrics. A bassist writing lyrics? Say it isn't so. And then when you turn to Deep Purple, especially when they get to Mach 2, every one of them are credited as songwriters. Only when they became Mark 3 and 4 did they start splitting the songwriting, either to a whole lot of Blackmore and Coverdale, or later Blackmore, Bolan, and Coverdale. So they started splitting. But once they kept that whole, that's my favorite way a band should go about. Look, it's Deep Purple. We all wrote it. I love that, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, hey, Dawson, I don't think so. I'm sorry. I'm not interrupting. I'm just letting Dawson know that I can't stream it. I can't stream the concert for all of us on my channel.
That's one thing. We're talking about, like,
you get shut down faster than you got shut up.
Right.
What would you guys say, like, the sound of it's not as early as those guys, but like the sound of like Aerosmith, like Sweet Emotion, would you guys put that in the same category of like you just talked about Cocaine, Royce?
I don't think so. I don't hear that there.
Like Sweet Emotion, damn it. Yeah, just the heavy riff and whatever, like Aerosmith, Leonard Skinner.
I was just,
would you consider?
I don't even think of them as heavy rock. I think them as just hard rock. Yeah.
With a little bit of pop.
Storm
with great pop sensibilities. You're right.
Storm Cop asks, what was the ballads from each band, if any, from Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple? Ballads. Boy, it's hard to pick out ballads on. You can't call Iron Man a ballad.
Changes.
Yeah, there you go. But now you're getting Ozzy solo. Like Mama, I'm Coming Home. No, that wouldn't be a ballad either. But
you do have some surprises.
I think Crazy Train's a ballad.
There you go.
But
Mr.
with Zeppelins, you could find more ballads with Zeppelin. Like I think Over the Hills and Far Away might qualify as a ballad.
Thank You is probably one of the best ballads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Going to California, I think's a ballad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody agrees with me.
Oh yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it. Dozens of at least a dozen and a half Zeppelin tunes could easily be. Yeah.
Much harder with Sabbath, and I really couldn't say about Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Sabbath usually went soft vocally at least once on each album, and if you consider 8 albums, then you with the exception of the first one, but there's a couple albums that have a couple of ballad approaches. They've got 8 to 10 ballads in the Ozzy incarnation, at least, maybe a couple of more. I'm trying to remember what's on Technical Ecstasy and Never Say Die.
Right.
Well, I got like I said, I threw Planet Caravan, but that's more. But then for the Deep Purple ballad, go way back and go Kentucky Woman. Remember they did the Neil Diamond cover Kentucky Woman on their first
Neil
album?
Diamond cover, yeah.
So wow, that can be a Deep Purple ballad for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deep Purple could do it a Neil Diamond cover. I mean, come on now.
But there's almost a ballad quality when Deep Purple goes to the blues. Mistreated off Burn. I've been mistreated. But it's the instrumentation and everything could be almost a ballad approach. It's a slow blues. But
hey guys, Iron Butterfly invented heavy metal, according to Dawson Walters.
That's
a very interesting.
One of the early heavy metal songs.
I would absolutely.
Yeah, it crosses a couple of subgenres. I also consider it a classic psychedelic track too, as well. You know, it's got some psychedelic, some heaviness. You know,
stay in that same genre. You can go like King Crimson, 21st Century Schizoid Man. You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? It's getting on in time. I think I enjoyed doing this show, and I look forward to more Sabbath shows in the future. I actually have a lot of information on Sabbath and the early formation and things like that. But I'd like to do some more shows on Sabbath. But anyway, I think I'm going to take a break here and show my Sabbath and Ozzy albums, starting with an original pressing of Paranoid.
Nice.
Okay, then we'll go Volume 4.
Great album.
Yeah. And then Sabotage.
Great album.
Right. Okay, then we got self-titled Black Sabbath, first album.
All together now.
The greatest album.
Great album.
Yeah, and the Rhino copy of that.
Oh, nice.
Greater
The
album.
devil, you say.
Then one Michael and I both like, Patient Number 9. This is really a great album. Double album set. This one's in red vinyl. And oh my God, maybe I could just, if they're handy here, you've got all these guest artists. I mean, Mike McCready, Jeff Beck. I will put my glasses on so I don't have to struggle here. Okay, so Jeff Beck, Zakk Wylde. Of course, Zakk Wylde plays guitar for Ozzy. Tony Iommi, Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck again on another song. Zakk Wylde on another song. Zakk Wylde on two more songs. Nothing Feels Right and Evil Shuffle. Degradation Rules. Tony Iommi played guitar on that. This truly is a great album. God Only Knows, Dark Side Blues. Those must be just straight up Ozzy's band, because he doesn't have any guest artists on those last three songs. But I absolutely love that album. Then we have Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. We have Ozzy solo, Diary of a Madman in blue splattered vinyl. Black Sabbath, Masters of Reality. Masters of Reality, okay. And then we got the one here that I have with Ronnie James Dio, Heaven and Hell. And I know there's a lot of Dio fans out there. I've got some Dio solo stuff. He's very talented, very he's great. He's great. I really can't take anything away. Okay, then I have Technical Ecstasy, Black Sabbath. Looks like a thrashed out of the flooded storage unit, Diary of a Madman, but the vinyl is perfect. And I have two Blizzard of Oz. This also came out of a flooded storage room, as you can see down here. The vinyl's perfect, and I also have a picture disc, Blizzard of Oz. So that's my little. Well, no, I left something out. I mean, I have other CDs. I'm not going to show all of that. But this one is Reunion, Black Sabbath Reunion, 2 CDs, about a 28-page booklet in there. Pretty much everything, War Pigs, Behind the Wall of Sleep, and NIB, Fairies Wear Boots, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. It just goes on and on and on. Okay. So that's
pull up the Paranoid album again, Royce. Show everybody the Paranoid album.
It's on the very bottom here. I'm working my way down.
Since you just mentioned a particular song, everybody take a look at that album cover. That was not supposed to be called Paranoid. It was supposed to be called War Pigs. Now look at the cover, and it makes a lot more sense.
And it makes a lot more sense.
They took the song Paranoid and made a single out of it that was very successful in England. And the company forced them to change the name, and they didn't have enough money left in the coffers to reshoot an album cover that would better represent the concept of Paranoid. But if you look at it, though, wouldn't that be the vision that a paranoid schizophrenic would see of a police officer approaching him? So in the end, Royce, it kind of worked. But an accident.
I agree.
Fate.
I agree.
Yeah.
Dawson, since I've been loving you, changes. Okay, that's how far behind I am in the chat. He's talking about, the songs that we were talking about earlier. No More Tears is a ballad. Yeah, that was a fun. That album had a whole bunch of fun videos that they used to play on MTV. No More Tears with the girl crying in the room until she's like submerged in her own tears. That's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Both that video and the video of the Cars and of the song Drive, they just remind me of each other. The sad woman in the video, who's going to drive you home tonight? That whole thing. The forlornment of both those videos are real cool.
Yeah, I can remember my mother was here for a visit. And for whatever reason, I said, "Mama, I'm coming home," singing, the song. And she started doing backflips. She thought I was moving back to Henderson. I was like, no, wait. You don't understand. That's just a song I like. Oh, you're really not moving back? No.
To which I replied, "In your dreams, Mama."
Right. No, I crossed the desert in a black suit, going to church in 116 degrees when I was a little kid. I am never moving back to the desert. Thank you, Rockin' Robin Bird. I've had all I can take. But
back when I was in the military, stationed in the Navy over in Guam, that was pretty rough duty over there. I had to work in Vietnamese refugee camps and all that. It was a tough time. But the thing that got me through, and me and a bunch of other guys, was sitting in the barracks at night, turn on the black light, and listen to Black Sabbath. I mean, that got us through a lot of rough times. So
that'll do it.
That and Kiss too. We listened to a lot of Kiss, and I swore, man, when I get back to the States, I got to see those guys in concert. And within 2 months after coming back to the States, I saw Kiss and Black Sabbath, and it was like a dream come true. It was like finally saw those guys.
Oh wow,
dude! I can just see you in your barracks listening to Planet Caravan. Wow, what a vision that brings up.
With the black light on, just and also with some party material. So,
absolutely.
Ben Scheidegger just bought 2 months of membership.
Ben, you're an angel if there ever was one.
Oh, yeah, angel of mercy, yeah. Thank you so much, Ben. You're greatly appreciated, brother.
Ben is such a great supporter of Royce's and my channel. We do appreciate you, brother. You are awesome. So is James. There's several of you out there. Oberheim. There's a ton of you out there that support this channel, my channel. Yeah. It's such a grand connection.
Yeah. Right.
And I love it that so many of you are in the chat tonight. So awesome.
Yeah, no, me too. Last week, Sunday was my wife's birthday. And so I pushed my channel back to Monday, and I knew it was going to be much slower doing that because we got a good thing going between Michael and I, just going to each other's channels and stuff. And and I was right, but actually the views have really picked up throughout the week and stuff like that. So
I noticed it's for the off time that you put that out. And thanks for bringing this up again, Royce. Me errantly reporting you weren't going to be streaming this week. Okay, I've done my penance, buddy. I've done my penance. But, for it being streamed on an off day, and so we're 1 day behind, you've got great views on that.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Very
successful.
complaining.
What I was going to say, though, is I thought tonight was Betty and mine's anniversary. And I told Betty, I go, well, I'm just going to have to push the show back. I'm just, I can't dishonor our anniversary by doing my show. And so, but she goes, no, you're doing your show. I want you to do your show. You didn't do it on time last week because it was my birthday. I insist that you do your show. And then
What's
I realized
the date of your anniversary?
It's tomorrow, June 30th.
Same here, brother.
You're kidding me.
No, Kimberly and I got married June 30th, 1997.
Oh, wow. Had to be a June bride, and the 30th was
28 years ago. You guys have got us by decades, but 28 year ain't bad.
No, 28 is huge. Well, you know, the thing is, we got married in the low-riding capital of the world, Bellflower, California.
Yeah.
And we were living in Long Beach, but actually this was like an outdoor wedding venue. It was a pretty nice place. But anyway, it was a long time ago. But for whatever reason, for several days in a row, I thought our anniversary was on Sunday, and I think it was. It wasn't that long ago. I realized I was incorrect. So I want to, thank everybody that's been here tonight. We appreciate you guys coming here. Well, thank you, Hop Frog, Dave.
Hey, Royce, I just put a link up there. We were talking about early Sabbath and whatever. There's a video on YouTube. Right now, I just have the audio one that I put the link for, but it's an early version of War Pigs called Walt Purgis with alternative lyrics and everything. I just put that link in the chat.
You put the link in the chat. Well, let me go back up because
I'll put it in there again.
Walt Purgis was the original title for War Pigs.
Yeah.
And it's based on and it's all based on a real what is it? Kind of boogeyman kind of Santa sort of figure kind of thing. Anti-Santa or something like that, as I recall. Maybe somebody in the comments would know.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Dr. Rick.
Definitely closer to what the picture on the cover looks like.
Yeah, I screenshot that. I went up and grabbed the first one. You didn't screenshot it. So, yeah. Anybody want this? Here it is, guys. Probably screenshot it on whatever you're seeing it on.
Copy and paste it.
No, copy and paste it, yeah. Yeah, copy and paste.
One thing I wanted to know, when Michael was going through all his list of his favorite Sabbath and everything, I think he forgot one. Isn't that his
Which
favorite?
one was that?
Yeah.
Show it. Royce, show it big so I can show Michael.
Sure.
There, Michael, isn't that your favorite?
Oh, anything with Ian Gillan at the helm is all right with me, Chris.
That's right.
I just mentioned on one of my streams that the reason I don't want to get that on vinyl is I'm afraid the thing would jump out of my record collection and attack me in my bed at night.
Here's you were showing what you had, Royce. There's one.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
The extended anniversary set for that one.
Great shot of the band, by the way.
Great stuff.
Unlike Sabotage, where Bill Ward looks pregnant.
Well, this has got Ozzy's picture, then Tony's picture.
Was that Tony or Geezer?
Geezer's picture. Or no, I think I mixed them
No,
up.
that's Tony's the one you just had up.
Yeah.
There's Bill.
Yeah.
Billy boy.
CDs. It's basically the original, like the past lives that they released, I think in early 80s. Just after they broke up with Dio, they had to put something out. But this is like a 2 CD version of it. It's like Tomorrow's Dream, Killing Yourself to Live, Sweet Leaf, Children of the Grave, War Pigs, Wicked World, of Doom, Symphony of the Universe, Black Sabbath, NIB. It's all on there. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, definitely.
Because they have it as a single. This is the expanded edition. So.
Okay, folks, it's time for Go ahead.
Jersey Devil coming up with something here. Let me get back here. The band's original manager has the master recording from when Sabbath was still named Earth and is releasing an album. That would be cool.
That would be very
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, right.
You heard it first on Royce in the House.
By Michael Nolan.
No. Who was a Jersey Devil gave us that bit of
that's
info.
Great. That's a great story. Yeah, they were Earth until they found out there was another band named Earth, And then I think they took Black Sabbath off a marquee. There was a movie playing, I think a Boris Karloff movie named Black Sabbath. Yeah.
So I saw somebody allude to that, and that's almost true. There's some contention where that story, the movie was playing close to where the band was practicing, I guess. But I forget which member of the band kind of said, no, we weren't aware of it. You know, they were musicians, hardworking. They were practicing. They weren't noticing what was going on. They couldn't afford to go see a fucking movie anyway. You know,
no, they didn't go see the movie. They just saw the sign. But anyway,
but if it isn't true, it should be.
I have heard an alternate version of that also.
Yeah. I think we covered it one night here on the show, didn't we? I'm just going by what I can remember.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and I remember it's like a half truth, not a total truth. You know,
not a total,
but or maybe the whole truth. But I've said it many times. It should be true if it isn't. You know.
Right. Okay, so any other closing comment there, Michael? We'll go through the
just a real quick one. I want to thank everybody who showed up in the. I've been watching you guys. I've been trying not to step on the panel too much here. So otherwise, I would have shouted out at least 24 of your messages here. You guys are alive in this chat. It's so good to see so many of the tribe over here. You fully embracing Royce's show. Like I said, you embrace his show, you embrace my show, and vice versa. So
thank you.
All I can say, Royce is trying to scream up to get up to 2,000 subscribers. One of my viewers said either early in your chat or late in mine, I think it was James, maybe Stormcop, who said Royce deserves to be at 50,000 subscribers too. I agree. I
appreciate that.
I agree. But let's get him to 2,000. That would be a major victory, folks.
Right.
All right.
Right.
That means in a very short time, first of all, Royce fought tooth and nail to get to 1,000. All right.
Yeah.
And he went through some I was there with him. Frustrating times. And it happened. And then since then, I think he got, anxious for that 2,000. Let's double that, because that's what a content creator does.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And he's been frustrated, but I've been monitoring the overall time. Royce, you've grown much faster in the second 1,000 than you did in your first 1,000 by 3 to 1. So that's a freaking victory. And if anybody is watching and has subscribed to my channel, please, I implore you, subscribe to Royce, subscribe to Dan, subscribe. I'm not sure what's going on with Dave's channel, but any panel member up here that you see, subscribe, because it's all tribal. It's a tribal thing. All right, and that's my sign off. Royce, you rock. I appreciate you having me up. And I have a hell of a good time with everybody on the panel.
I always appreciate you being here, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Hey, Dan.
Well, I've got a question about a couple of the albums. Now, I know I can't find it listed anywhere, but Black Sabbath came out with the greatest hits album, basically. We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll.
Okay.
And I believe that came out, that was released before.
76.
Yeah, it was right before the Technical Ecstasy album. Now, Chris, that album you just showed, now that sounds like a greatest hits as well. So I'm taking it that's the greatest hits from Technical Ecstasy to the end. It sounds like it.
But the one I just showed it's all live.
Yeah. It's all live. Okay.
All live.
Yeah.
It's a double live album.
Thank you, Robin.
It's the one they put out. Well, they redid it and expanded it before they did the reunion album, when they re-released the reunion album as well.
Yeah, my problem
was one more called Live Evil, but that's with Ronnie James Dio, another live album.
See, my problem with Black Sabbath was, I was a devout listener to those guys until Ozzy left. And then I started following Ozzy instead of Black Sabbath. And I did follow him through the Dio years. But after that, I didn't listen to him anymore. You know, because to me, it wasn't Black Sabbath without Ozzy. It just wasn't the same.
So you're kind of like Royce, Dan. Both of you kind of flipped to Ozzy for the most part.
Yes,
part.
yeah. Now
I have this much in common with the two of you is that I kind of quit listening to Sabbath at the same time, but I didn't flip to Ozzy, and I wish I had. You guys were right; I was wrong.
Now, like I said, Dio brought a lot to the table, you know, and I did see.
No, he did. Yes,
with Dio.
Yeah.
So it was good, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
No. Once you get used to a singer, I mean, I have Heaven and Hell with Dio. It's a good album. But Jersey Devil, I love Jersey Devil's comment. Royce has an absolute genius level classic rock stream every Sunday night.
All
Why,
right.
thank you, brother.
Absolutely freaking ludely.
Yeah, I took a. I don't know if you guys go YouTube TV, and they come up with these. Like our polls we put up, Michael, where you choose 1 out of 4.
Yeah,
but it's always a different topic. So they put one up last night and said, if you can even get 12 out of 40, you're a genius. I wound up getting 16.
Yeah. I do those videos every once in a while. I usually do pretty good with them too. My wife would tell you, just don't put Michael in a Trivial Pursuit game, especially if it's just in general. Names, dates, times, events, a sense of history just makes sense to my mind, Royce.
Thank you, Winslow.
So I've accumulated a lot of useless knowledge that just kind of pours out of me, and so I love those guys. I love videos that kind of tease my knowledge.
Yeah, right.
And you can add to what you don't know because you're going to get some of them wrong.
The problem is when you do it on YouTube TV, the algorithm grabs it and think that's all you want to see.
Yeah.
Like
that's true on YouTube with the iPad.
I know.
I usually watch YouTube on my iPad, and you click one of those, and then you pull down your home feed to get a refresh, and 2 or 3 of them will pop up.
Right.
That Algo Dragon's gotten real smart.
Dwayne Chamberlain would like to see a Cheap Trick live stream. They're the most underrated band from the 70s, in my opinion. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, we could work on something like that. Cheap Trick.
We haven't. Yeah. I'm a generalized fan of Cheap Trick. I'd have to bone up on them a bit.
Yeah, I would too.
But I liked what I heard of them in general. Yeah, they're a good band.
Okay. Yeah, they're a good band.
I seen them in concert with Foghat one night, and they were pretty good, both bands.
Yeah. Good pair up. That'd be a good pair up.
Slow ride, right?
Of course, I'd be there for Foghat more than Cheap Trick, I think. But both of them together, bonus.
Bonus.
Foghat totally together with them, and I also saw them by themselves at I think the 2018 Blues Fest or something here in Windsor.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Hey, any
put
closing?
On a really cool extended version of Slow Ride, and they added in a couple of Muddy Waters songs, a couple of B.B. King songs. It was just a really cool blues.
I think Dr. Rick, Joe Walsh, James Gang stream would be good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Royce, I do have a final announcement I should have included in my sign-off. Just wanted to remind everybody, the reason we're talking about Black Sabbath tonight is a lead up to the concert, which happens on Saturday this week, Sunday being the first day of the week. And next Sunday, the day after the concert, on my live stream on Sunday, preceding your show, we're going to be discussing. I've got my ticket and everything, and we're gonna be. I'm gonna give my 2 cents worth, and then we're gonna have a big discussion with the Peanut Gallery. A lot more with the Peanut Gallery than I've had in the past in a 1 hour thing. I'm gonna get cut to the chase and everything, and then I want to hear what you kind folks thought of this. Make no mistake, historic concert. So.
Absolutely.
Be sure when I put that thing up, I've got one more stream to do in between. Grab that notification bell because this will be fresh off the apple cart, baby. This will be
sounds good.
An immediate reaction.
Right on. Okay.
Thank you, Royce. I appreciate it.
No. Thank you, Michael.
Take me down, Royce.
Okay. All right. Any closing comments here, Dave?
No, I'm just excited about the concert. And real quick,
I know.
This is a pop of the first album I ever bought with my first job when I was.
Oh, look at that! That's awesome. That's absolutely beautiful.
This is my all-time favorite album.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a
Royce.
great
I got a complaint. Dave stole my diary.
There you go. Yeah, I kind of felt I listened to Sabbath up to probably Led Zeppelin 4, then I kind of fell out and started getting into other music, more heavier metal, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and a lot of punk stuff. And then I came back, for the Ozzy solo stuff. Yeah. So.
Right. Okay. Thanks, brother. Yeah. Let's see. Randy Rhoads was amazing. Dwayne Chamberlain said we've got 32 people watching right now with 50 likes. That's huge. Yes. Okay, so I just want to say that I have been an Ozzy Osbourne fan since I was in high school. Okay, and I've always loved his music. I remember having a tape of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath that I played, for days on end, And but I've always had Ozzy Osbourne's music. Well, I mean Black Sabbath. I mean Black Sabbath. Okay, their first album, 1970. I was still in high school, and they followed that up fairly quickly with the next one. But anyway, always been a fan. Always enjoyed them. Saw them at the Las Vegas Convention Center, 1971. Saw them again at the California Jam in 1973. And that was a 2-day thing, and there was the Eagles were there, all kinds of great bands. Anyway, so that was fun.
Braggart.
So anyway, I want to thank
me jealous, brother. Color me jealous.
Yeah, but I never got to see Zeppelin.
Me neither.
No, that just kills me.
I missed it by that much.
I was living in Long Beach. And we went to see the Rolling Stones, the Exile on Main Street, tour. And all my friends came down, the ones that weren't already roommates of mine, from Henderson, and my future wife was there. And we watched that concert. Stevie Wonder opened. And you know what? That same year, I'm still living in Long Beach, and Zeppelin comes. Why didn't I go to that concert? I mean, I hate to even think about it. I get almost sick. Just keep Ozzy from the bats and the dove. I wonder if it tasted like chicken.
Yeah.
I loaded a picture of that. I was going to show it tonight with the bat in his mouth, but I didn't move it over and put it in my my photos in here like I should have.
At this point, I just hope that Ozzy can make it up to bat.
I know. He said he had a trainer that he was supposed to be working. He didn't say he'd done a lot of work with the guy, but the guy was supposed to try to get him whatever exercises he can do to get him a little bit better for the show. And I hope it goes off good. And you know what?
I think he will show. I'll make the prediction right now. I think he will show. If I'm wrong, so be it. But and I do it only on this little bit of knowledge about Ozzy. He gets a bug up his butt.
Right.
He's got to freaking have his way. He wants this. He can taste it for dinner.
I think the only reason they're doing this show is because Ozzy was obsessed for our final show with the original lineup,
Yeah.
And he was the only one they were, Bill Ward signed on actually fairly early. It was Ozzy's health that was really the thing that had everything held up. But I think he's going to surprise us and do more than any of us expect.
I don't know that, but I do know that if it is possible, he will crawl out on that stage and be there.
Right. Oh yeah.
Nothing's going to get in his way except for the hard place that rock can't smash against, and that would be his health. That we don't have a real clear clue as to how healthy is Ozzy right now. There's the big debate.
He's not really saying much about that.
No, he's not.
I can remember a
assurances.
year ago he couldn't hardly even talk because of the Parkinson's. And
You
stuff,
would think we'd be getting lots of assurances right now. I'm ready. Oh yeah. This is gonna happen. And instead of the tickets go on sale, the announcements are made, and questions still exist.
Right. Oh, I know. But I think I'm hoping we're going to be surprised.
I think we're going to get him up there. But,
I think he's downplaying expectations just in case he does have a hard time. But I think he's going to exceed what we're all thinking. I really think so.
If the band is on and Ozzy can hit his cues and they give us enough of Sabbath, I'm going to be ecstatic. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I am going to be ecstatic because it is historical. Now, if it's a sad show, then I'll report on it. And I'll be honest. I'll give my honest opinion on it.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see what everybody else has to say.
Oh, yeah.
I don't expect it to be a bad show. And I'm not going to go in, when I watch this, I'm not going to go in going, yeah, I'll bet they can't handle it. I'm going to go in expecting a miracle. I'm going to go in childlike.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
And I'm prepared to be amazed. I'm willing to be amazed. Now, Black Sabbath freaking amazed me.
Right.
That's what I want, baby.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks to the panel so much, Michael, Dan.
Hey, Roy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like to add one more story.
Absolutely, do it.
In 2000, it's either 2008 or 2009. Sharon Osbourne contacted me because I was the founder of Ride for Dime.
That's right.
And she wanted me to organize a Ride for Ozfest in honor of Dimebag Darrell. So I met with her as well as Ozzy, and it was right around my birthday. And Ozzy knew it was my birthday. He had the entire band.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
Oh, look at that! You're kidding me.
That is impressive, Dan. But what's even more impressive? I got to tell you, that's impressive. But what impresses me even more is you survived an encounter with Sharon Osbourne. Man,
well,
dude, you a man.
Well, it was. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy because she made promises she never kept, and it kind of. But it all worked. It all worked out, though.
Yeah. Well, that's good. God, that's great. I'm glad you put that up.
You live to tell the tale, Dan. That's the important thing, man.
Right.
I was concerned there for a minute.
Right.
Okay, I have one final question.
Okay, go ahead.
It's about all the other bands there. Are they going to be playing their own original sets, or is it just going to be one large everybody's playing Black Sabbath tribute concert?
I saw a couple articles alluding. Yeah. I saw articles alluding that there may be a lot of versions of Black Sabbath material in this concert.
That's what I read too.
Yeah.
Well,
I expect some, but is it going to be like their full sets, all just Sabbath covers, or?
Well, I
haven't heard.
Well, I know the guys at Pantera, and the only two Black Sabbath songs they really ever played in concert was Planet Caravan and Hole in the Sky.
Okay.
Those are the only two songs they ever played.
Yeah.
And whether they're going to do it this Saturday or not, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Hello, Bill K. How you doing, brother? Yeah, you are a little late. We're just now signing off, man. I'm sorry.
If they do go that approach, because for most of these bands, I'm not all hyped up to see them. I wouldn't have paid this money to see this concert without Black Sabbath. I don't think I'd even pay just if it was just Ozzy, to be honest. It's the Sabbath. It's historic. But if that's the way they're going to go, that could be kind of entertaining, because that might introduce me to some of these bands I don't have a whole lot of interest in. Bands that I know Dan and Dave here on the panel definitely are fans of. If they did something like that, maybe they would do something like what Guns N' Roses did for new fans by covering Live and Let Die. Now, for me, that made me gag with a spoon. I think it's one of the worst freaking covers on planet Earth, except for Knock on Heaven's Door. They almost superseded their mistaken, flawed interpretation of other people's comments on that, but it did open up a whole lot of new fans for them. So if they did go that route by covering material I'm real used to and I like what they do with it, I'd be precluded to look at them further. So
sure,
I like that idea, kind of.
Yeah.
What do you
I
guys
do too.
think?
No, I like it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let it be
Yeah.
that would make it almost like an artistic gallery event, wouldn't it?
Okay. Look on the screen. It says Ben Scheidegger. It will be all Sabbath covers, from what I read, and that's kind of what I read too. Kind of what I read.
Yeah, and I had read something similar, but I didn't have because I've been so busy. I didn't have time to look up the druthers. So thank you, Ben, for the extra information. I'm glad that that would be cool. Then I'm kind of even a little tad more excited than I'm already. You know.
Hey, Bill, when did you send it? No, I have not received it. Frank Zappa video. I know I saw Facebook Messenger. You had it up, and I watched some of it. I didn't get a chance to finish it, but no, I haven't. I wonder if you got the Frank back. Oh, the one you Facebook Messenger. Sure. Yeah, no, I did get that. I watched half of it today. It's about a 2-hour video. Thank you. I'm a Frank Zappa fan. I mean, I'm probably not too far away from doing a Frank Zappa show.
I am a Frank Zappa fan with a small f. I know he's a genius. It just didn't translate his approaches and everything to my natural proclivities. But thanks to a friend who is probably closer to your age, Royce, I think is a little over a year older than me. My friend that was your age at that time and kind of leader of the gang. Of my extended gang. I was leader of my local gang, then the extended gang, Co Burnett, and he turned me on to Zappa, and he would explain to me why this was art and everything, and we'd spend long hours. So I liked what I heard, but never after that, never quite got into collecting them or anything. And I know a couple of members of this panel actually have a bit of a collection of Zappa material. Royce, notwithstanding, right?
I'll mention something because George Pita just made a comment. Royce does Zappa, laughing out loud. I have at least 5 Zappa videos on my channel, and one of them is Frank Zappa's dying request to Ian Anderson. That has probably, I think it's close to 70,000 views now. That show
was
really
a
blew
good
up.
One.
That show really blew up. But I have another one where Frank Zappa just met John and Yoko Ono. just met them. Someone brought them over to his house, and he invited them to get up on stage with him that night at the Fillmore East. And so they got up and jammed together after Zappa, and his band finished. He got up and jammed with John Lennon and Yoko Ono. And the funny thing was, he says, listen, now we're going to be recording this. It's the Fillmore. We always do recordings here. And you can use the tapes, do whatever you want with them. I'll use the tapes, do whatever I want with them. Just a gentleman's agreement. So John and Yoko took one of his songs and actually gave it a new name and called it their own song, And the name they gave it was something like Jam Rag, was like a feminine napkin and French or something.
Well, the only good thing about that is the fact that it didn't. They took away the fact that they hid.
Well, no, it was really his song that he'd already
name on it by the time they were done.
Yeah, he had already recorded it, and it was on one of his albums. It was the song King Kong, and they
holy shades have come together. Yeah, say it isn't so.
Anyway, but so that's another one I have. Then I have one where Frank Zappa called a junk John Wayne. I think it was at the Whiskey A Go-Go, called him a Nazi. And John Wayne was trying to they got into a tit for tat. John Wayne said something really rude before that. I don't even want to repeat it. But so then they got into a tit for tat, and a drunken John Wayne was being held back by his bodyguards. He wanted to get his Zappa.
My money's on the Duke.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got the 3-album set live at the Fillmore by Zappa. several others albums actually too, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 albums right now. But yeah, I do Zappa. I like Zappa. He's intelligent. I like his take on politics, and he really was a musical genius. Steve Dennison, I once heard an interview with Ozzy on public radio. He said when he made his first album, he took it to his parents. They put it on because they like music, pub music, so they listened. Okay, Ozzy's parents listened to his first album. That's great. I would have not have guessed that. Great show, Royce. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate all that you do, man. Thanks for coming.
Hey, Royce, I got to take off, so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
Okay,
I appreciate you guys having me here, and everybody take care, stay safe, and we'll discuss the show next week.
Okay, Chris.
And I'm going to peace out too, Royce. I just got the warning beep on what plugs me into you, brother.
No worries. We're all leaving now. We're all leaving.
Yeah, but hey, peace and love to each and every one of you. See, I can do Ringo. Yeah. Didn't sound a bit like Cagney, did it?
No. hey, Bill, it's all good. I enjoyed that you sent that to me. Like I said, I got about half. I've got the Apostrophe album. I got about halfway through it, and I just had to do some other things today, like try to get my truck to run because I might be going back.
Night,
to work.
folks.
Okay, guys. Thank you all for joining. Thanks to panel. We really appreciate you. And we are signing off, folks. We are signing off, and that's what's happening in Royce's world today. Thank you all so much. Bye, Dan. Bye, Dave.
Bye.
Okay. Good night, guys.
Good night.